So hi and welcome to another tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to port forward your PlayStation 4 on Call of Duty Black Ops 4. If you're not sure what port forwarding does, it enables the router to find your PC a little bit quicker, or your PlayStation or Xbox, by mapping the port directly to that IP address that's locally on your PC. This can reduce latency. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It can also improve some lag if you're having issues. So the first thing you need to do, you need to load up your PlayStation 4. You're going to need to go to the settings at the top of the bar and find the IP address. It's under network. And at the bottom, you've got view connection status. And in here, you should see all the details that you need. And you'll see about middle way down an IP address. And mine's 192.168.1.22. So you're going to need to remember that. Make sure you log that down for your PlayStation. What you also need to make sure is that the IP address doesn't change. And you need to give this reservation in the router. Each router is different, but this will prevent it from changing IP address when it reboots. Some routers will keep the IP address and give it back out. Some routers won't. They'll change the IP address, and therefore your port forwarding won't work anymore. So make sure you do that. I'll show you in a sec how to do it on the router on mine. Each router is individually different, but they all have port forwarding, port mapping, port filtering, so they're very, very similar. All does the same thing. If you're not sure, put a comment in this video, and I'll try and help you out and try and work out where the settings are for you. So let's get onto the router. So once you're back on a PC, or you could do it on your phone if you know the router's IP address. I'm going to use a PC in this instance. But what you need to do is find the router's IP address. Each one's different. And the easiest way to find it on a PC is to press the Windows key, type CMD for command, open the command prompt, and then type ipconfig. Press return. And what you'll have is a default gateway. That default gateway, 192.168.1.1, is the router's IP address. Okay, so if you've got a simple network, that's how you find it. A virgin router is generally 0.1, but each router is slightly different, so just check if you're not sure. Once you have that IP address, log into your router. If you're not sure on the password, if it's provided by Virgin or Sky or something like that, they'll give you the password under the router where the Wi-Fi password is, or it'll be set to default password, which you can find on the internet. If you're going to set a static IP address, on each router it's different, but on mine I have a status. I go to device list. These are all the IP addresses that have been issued out to my local devices. And you can see here, here's the PlayStation's IP address. What I can do is click static IP. You'll see my other ones here that I've given it as an IP address. I'll leave 1.22. I can basically put PS4 in there. And I can click add. And now my PlayStation 4 will always have that IP address. Now it's slightly different on each router, but on this one, that's how I would do it here on my R7000 from Netgear. So once you've done that, you need to find on your list down here, or wherever your menu is, sometimes on the top, you need to find port forwarding, or port mapping, or port filtering. They all have slightly different names. Basically, within this table, what you should see is these kind of headings. They are slightly different each router. But you'll see an on-off, meaning the rule's enabled or not. The protocol, TCP, UDP, or both. Source IP address, external ports, internal IP address, and description. So what these mean is the on means you've got it turned on or off the rule, because you can turn it basically off, so you don't always have it on. The protocol is dependent on which one it's going to use. The source IP address is the external IP address of the device that would connect to you. On Black Ops, for instance, or Fortnite, you wouldn't necessarily know the source IP address because you don't know where the servers are, so leave that blank. The external ports you're going to connect to, the internal ports, which should really match. Especially on Black Ops, you can see my PC ones here. Internal port, internal IP address, which is going to be 192.168.1.22, and your description, which I've got Black Ops PC, but we're going to have Black Ops PlayStation 4 here. So the first rule we're going to put in is going to be TCP. So you can see TCP UDP, so we're going to pick TCP. Now, if it's exactly the same one, you could use both, but we're not going to do that. I'm going to show you TCP and UDP. Leave the source IP address blank. The external port is going to be 1935. And the internal port is exactly the same at 1935. And then the IP address is 192.168.1.22. Not 52, 22, and it's BO, because we've got Black Ops, shall we? 1, and I'm close PS4. So that basically is just an identifier so you can tell what rule it's for. When you've done that, make sure you add it. Make sure you enable it if you have to on your router. Now the next one's going to be TCP again. It's going to be a blank source. The port number is 3478. Now my router is slightly different here. I can put a hyphen and then I can put the next port number 3480. So basically it's got 2 ports open between 78 and 80. What that does is it blanks out my internal port. On some routers, you'll be able to put it back into the internal port. Some routers you might have start port and end port. So you'd have the start port as 78 and the end port as 80 or 3480. So it just depends on your router here. Again, if you've got any problems, just put a comment in. But for mine, I can, as you can see in the notes here, I can basically do it in that kind of format, but not every router supports that. Again, the IP address 192.168.1.22. It's going to be Black Ops 2. So, on to the next port. Now, the next one's going to be UDP. There's no source IP address again. The port number is 3074. That's going to be the same. So, the start and end port would be 3474, and the start and end port for the internal would be 3474, depending on what your route is asking for. Local IP address, which we know, and Black Ops 3. And then the final one here is UDP again, no source IP, and it's going to be a group of ports again. So it's 3478-3479. So your start port would be 3478, and the end port would be 3479. And that will be, if it's got an end and a start, it'll be for internal and external as well. Last IP address. Once you've done all that, make sure you commit the changes. On mine here, I have to save these changes, and mine will now take a few seconds. During this period, it could disconnect some of the devices, so just be careful. Let me know if you want to show me any other tutorials. I'm going to do the Xbox next. And until then, check out my other videos. I've done Fortnite as well, and I'll see you all again. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.